I can't believe we have to have this conversation. Test is one of the topics that I always bring up when I start talking about application environments and build environments. And I think most people get it when we're talking about your actual application. Well, of course, I need to test that code. And when I think about deploying that code, well, I probably need to test how I deploy it. But the operations against my running system, I don't usually test those. I write some little scripts. Maybe they work, maybe they don't. Usually it's something that I just sort of implement and it's good enough. It's not the case anymore. Our systems are getting so dynamic, so large, and the interactions with those systems are getting so huge. We have to consider operations as a testable event as well. Look, I'm referring to the Amazon S3 failure that we saw last week. This was a change that really should not have caused the kind of outage that it caused, but the outage of that one service then impacted so many others. Partially because, yes, some people only use one backend S3 Amazon store as the backend to their entire application space. That causes major grief and major issues. Are we not replicating things already? Do we not realize that you can't just put stuff into one site and consider that good enough? It's not good enough to just have it in the cloud. It has to be distributed, and we have to consider what that means when we distribute service. So testing our application, how our application scales, the resources that our application uses, these are all important, critical factors that we have to take into effect and take into account when we start building our applications. But the test that I'm really concerned about is our operational test. There's this whole worldview that DevOps is the answer to everything, and I actually do believe that in general, for an application developer, the DevOps cycle is really key. Now, the ops that an application developer starts thinking about is their application operations, but not even the big picture application operations. They're thinking about their application components specifically. They're not necessarily considering the operations that occur with other application components that they leverage and use on a day-to-day basis. Are they truly distributing those resources? This is architectural, but are they testing that the distribution works? That's development and deployment related. It's also operations related. I work with a lot of folks in the operations space. Really, that is my domain. And often I find that people in the operations space are still very much manually managing their systems. This is just absolutely the wrong approach. We have to take the same DevOps approach that we've been taking in the development environment and apply it to how we think of any operations, especially our overall data center systems operations. So say it with me. I will test my environments. I will not deploy into a single region when I have multiple regions available. I will really start thinking about how I'm developing and deploying my applications. This is critical. Join me on this journey to understand how to work in the new environment, the new cloud system space that we're all finding ourselves in. Whether we're using third-party services like Amazon or building all of this in our own data centers, testing is critical. The application management lifecycle that we're doing for the applications that we deploy in our infrastructure has to be applied just as well in our operations of that infrastructure. People talk about SRE, people talk about the reliability engineering that goes on in the infrastructure, not in the application itself. This is where we need to really start focusing. Come with me on this journey. Subscribe to this channel. You'll get more of my diatribes like this. Don't forget to also click the little link, the little bell next to the subscribe button on YouTube to actually get notified when I post new things. I don't post them every day, so maybe you want to find out when these things happen. So don't forget to hit that up. Also, join us on Facebook. Join us on Twitter. I'd love to continue this conversation. If you have questions, if you have comments, please leave them below. I'd really love to actually turn this into more of a conversation rather than just me talking to the world. Please continue to join us. Thank you.